Welcome to PiT Profiles, a peek behind the scenes at the people who make Peak Improv Theater more than just a stage. In each episode, we spotlight students, performers, teachers, and staff as they share their improv journey, personal growth, and what keeps them coming back. Whether you're here for the laughs or the life lessons, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Marta Lane. Let's dive in. Faerret is a student at Peak Improv Theater. He got involved with improv because he wanted to be more engaging and present when he's on stage. He knew Casey, the one-on-one improv teacher, from open mics. Faerret's favorite thing about the PiT is watching himself improve every week as he starts to feel more comfortable with improvising and stepping outside of his comfort zone. When not doing improv, he teaches music and performs as a one-man band. Thanks for joining me.
Of course, yeah, no problem.
So, first question, if you could think about day one, what was your biggest fear walking in?
I think my biggest fear walking in was that I would just freeze up and basically all the thoughts would leave my head and I'd have nothing to say. And that literally did happen on day one. But but it's once it actually happened and I realized that's as bad as it can get and it doesn't and it's not the end of the world and it's actually just normal. I didn't really have any fears after that. I think it kind of helped actually.
So, making that big fear right away helped you get over that fear.
Basically, yeah.
And so, how has it changed? How has improv changed you in everyday life?
I think I am like just overall a little bit more present in everyday life now. Um, uh, I'm a I think I'm a better listener, and I think I'm getting slightly better at conversation, but also like my everyday life does involve performing to a certain degree. So uh it's also just made me a little bit more present when I'm doing that, when I'm playing music, or just, performing in any way.
That's pretty incredible. Um, I imagine, so I don't know if we really shared what you do when you perform.
Uh yeah, so I'm a one man band. So I play multiple instruments, guitar, bass, drums, and I sing. And I usually do all of those at the same time. So
And when
uh
play around town or at venues, or what does that look like?
yeah, I play my last show was at Friskies. But I've played a lot of shows at Vultures and just all kinds of venues around town. Um, and I actually I am in a band right now. I'm in a parody band where we're doing kind of like Weird Al style goofy songs.
The
Um,
name of the band?
so the name of the band is Jazz on My Face.
Yeah. You're a very punny guy. I know some of your songs also have puns like that. I've heard about something about Ferret, which you go by. There's a Ferret song as well.
Um, a I don't have any songs about ferrets, but
There a character Ferret or something? I remember in the WhatsApp chat, TJ was talking about.
oh right, my hold on, let me grab her real quick.
Okay.
I actually have her with me. So here we go.
All right.
This is my emotional support ferret.
Oh, awesome.
Her name is Lupita. Uh, and yeah, I usually bring her up on stage with me. I just kind of let her sit on my mic stand while I'm performing.
So then, do you rely on her as much now that you've taken improv?
Um, not not really. I think improv has kind of helped me, I guess, with stage fright. I don't think I have really bad stage fright to begin with. I'm usually honestly more comfortable on stage than am off stage most of the time. But like a main thing that I think improv has really helped me with is I'm paying a little bit more attention to things outside of myself. Like being a one man band, I tend to kind of like get into my zone when I'm on stage and I just kind of tune everything out. But I'm doing less of that now. And engaging with the audience a little bit more. So I think that's been a really big takeaway from improv as a performer.
And so I imagine that the ability to connect with your audience in that way makes it better. How?
Um, I think it just gets people more engaged, honestly. It's kind of easy like to I guess tune out the stage whenever the performers aren't talking to you, you know, or aren't addressing you or aren't acknowledging it whenever you're cheering or clapping or whatever. But I've been getting a lot better at acknowledging the crowd, and it kind of just brings them in a little bit more. Um, the last show I did, um, I kind of I talked a little bit more in between songs, a little bit more than I usually would. And I was able to kind of bring people in closer to the stage and get people moving and dancing a little bit more and everything like that. And that's something I kind of took for granted before. I didn't really make an effort to do that as much, but now because of improv, I guess I'm a little bit more aware of what's happening off stage too. So,
When I wonder if it's tied. So the same thing happens to me. You mentioned that you're a little more intimidated with one-on-one face-to-face conversations than you were on stage, and that you were surprised by how much you enjoyed being on stage. And I think that's such a weird phenomenon. It happens to me too. I don't understand why. What do you think?
um, well, I think it might be just like being on stage gives you some context. Like it's a little bit when you're having a one-on-one conversation with people, the dynamic is, a little bit more ambiguous and um you're not always sure, when it's your time to take the lead in the conversation or um when to kind of like just play off of the other person, I guess. This is I'm exposing how incredibly socially awkward I am right
It's all
now.
good. I totally understand.
But when you're on stage, there's a little bit more context for it. And I think that was a big takeaway I had from improv was learning how to like give those gifts when you're in an improv scene. You kind of you hint at things to get the scene to go in another direction or to add to it. And I think that it's really clear when you're on stage when it's your turn to talk, you know? And it's not as clear when you're off stage. But I think uh, doing improv has kind of helped me off stage with that a little bit too.
How so, do you think? I mean, do you think
Um,
that, because I think sometimes on stage it's tricky, right? You got to be listening, which you mentioned, improv has made you a better listener. But when you're
yeah.
on stage, you got to listen, and then respond. And so I'm just wondering what you think, improv, how it's made you easier to have one-on-one conversations.
Um, I I guess it's made it into more of a game. That's it's kind of gamified conversations for me because now I'm kind of I know a little bit about the rules that I need to be playing by, I guess. Because there are like such clear rules in improv about like when it's okay to ask a question. And like uh and when it's your turn to add something and you really want to try to like anytime you do add something you don't want to take away from what was already there. So I think conversations work in a pretty similar way where rather than just like waiting for your turn to talk or already having it in your head what you want to talk about, um it's more natural, I guess, to let the conversation just organically flow and to build off of it rather than trying to steer it in a specific direction.
Yeah, I think that's really powerful. And you could probably say the same thing about your performances, right?
For sure, yeah. Um, I've had kind of more flexible set lists, I guess. So I can kind of gauge what people are reacting to and try to make decisions based on that. So
I bet not only is it more rewarding for your audience, but it's more rewarding for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So now that I've asked you to think kind of hard, like, why does this, I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to ask any more deep questions. Easy
Okay.
ones. If you can, think back so you took 101. That's where I met you, yeah?
Yeah.
And now you're doing stand up?
Now I'm doing intermediate improv.
Intermediate. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So in intermediate, excuse me, I have a frog in my throat today. What does a typical class day look like for you from getting ready to going home?
Um, well, we've only had one class so far for intermediate, but usually before I go into class, I try to kind of like I try to warm myself up a little bit by doing kind of like word games with myself. Like one thing that has been really helpful, I forget the name of the game, but it's where you choose like two letters and then you have to figure out like a an action based on it. So like,
Oh, yeah. Hey, what are you doing?
hey, what are you doing? Yeah, exactly. That one. Uh I try to play that game with myself.
Okay,
Bef
so in case anybody doesn't know, Casey is the 101 instructor, and he'll ask somebody in the audience, one of our classmates, what are their initials? They might say AJ. And so then you and someone else on stage have to, like, one person will say, hey, what are you doing? And the other person has to come up with, like, Act
Um,
judiciously.
al yeah,
What were
yeah,
you going to say?
allocating jump ropes. I don't.
Allocating jump ropes, and then the other person has to act like they're allocating jump ropes. Okay, so you
Exactly.
do that to yourself before you play that word game before you go to class.
Yeah, and it just kind of puts me in the headspace to think on the spot, um, and think outside of the box a little bit. Um, but when we're actually in class, I think it kind of it functions pretty similar to 101. We usually warm up by kind of all standing in a circle and just doing like a really simple game. Last time, since it was our first one, we did some like name games where you had to like say your name and then use an adjective that has the same first letter as your name. So for me, it was like I was Fancy Ferret, and then you have to like do an action that shows that. And so for me, it was like um, taking a sip of tea with my pinky up, you know. So we kind of started off with something sort of like that. We did a couple of scenes. I can't remember the name of any of these games, but the freeze game where you like do a scene and then you have to freeze and then someone taps you out and then takes like the same position that you were in, but then they start a whole new scene. Um, so we did a little bit of that. Um, One thing I think was really neat about our intermediate improv class that I hadn't done in 101, uh, we did this mirroring game with sticks. So we had a partner, and each person had one end of a stick held in the palm of their hand, and we had to kind of move the sticks together at the same time without letting them fall.
How is that?
So like picture like this is the stick and like this is your partner's hand and this is your hand, and so you have to like move the stick around at the same time. Uh that was really fun actually. And at one point we all got in a circle and like had multiple sticks
Oh wow.
and we had to all move them together. So that was pretty neat. I'd
What do you
never
think
done
the
anything like that before.
What do you think the point of that was? Or what do you think it did for
Just
you?
I think it was just to kind of be a little bit more aware of what your partner's doing and pay attention and to try to match that. Um, it was great. My partner was Robin, actually. She was in our 101 class, and we never dropped our sticks. So I think we did a great job.
All right, all right. And I imagine it's kind of like a team building exercise, right? Maybe you
Yeah.
become stronger. Um, so was there a moment in a class when something finally clicked for you?
Um, I think yeah. So there was the game Survivor where you start with five people and you have to keep doing the scene over and over again with less and less people. There was one time we tried that where I ended up being the last one and I had to do the whole scene by myself. Um, and I kind of got the that the point isn't to do the scene accurately. It's to just make the scene entertaining every time. So i- if you like skip a detail or something, that's not important. Like the point is to like heighten it and to just keep it interesting. And having to do the whole scene by myself, I think really helped me kind of understand that. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be totally accurate, but it just has to be entertaining and stay interesting.
And how do you keep it entertaining?
Um, I keep it entertaining by trying to think outside of the box. Like I try to take it in a different direction. I try not to do exactly what's been done or what you would expect, like
Yes, because I was in that one with you, I think. Or I was in one with you where you did, I think the uh, gift that Casey gave us was wolf. And so
yeah,
did you act like you were a wolf of Wall Street?
right.
Yeah.
Right. I was I interpreted that to be a literal wolf who eats money.
Yes.
Um, yes.
So
I
good.
was because honestly, I have seen Wolf of Wall Street, but it's been a really long time and I don't remember a lot about that movie. So I was like, I don't have to do I don't actually have to do the movie. I can just be a wolf on Wall Street, whatever that
That's
means to
right.
me.
That's what the I don't know, it's not called the gift. The prompt, I guess. Casey gave us the prompt of Wolf on Wall Street.
Yeah.
And you just dropped to your knees like you were a wolf and you were like wanting to eat some money.
Yeah.
And I got to feed you money. It was fun. And it was totally unexpected. So I can see because I've always been afraid of Survivor, because I'm afraid I'm not going to remember everything that everybody acted out. Luckily, I've
Right.
never had to be on my own. But now, thanks to you, I'm not as afraid to be on my own. But I think what you pointed out was that it's okay to make mistakes.
Exactly. Yeah. And sometimes mistakes make it more interesting too. Because then it goes in a direction that nobody was expecting. And you have to keep just building on the mistakes even. So it keeps it fun. It keeps it entertaining.
So, if you were going to describe improv in 3 words, what would they be?
Ooh. Um, I would say improv is freeing, freeing, free. What is the word I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you feel very free from it. I think it's also it's playful. Um, that would be my third word. Uh, and stimulating. That's, I think, a good word for it.
Yes, I always go to class kind of tired.
Yeah,
And by the end of the class, I'm so much more energized.
definitely.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep you long. I know you're busy. I have time for one more question.
Sure.
How did your instructor help shape your experience?
Casey was an amazing instructor. If if it hadn't been Casey, I don't know if I would have liked it so much because he kept everything really fun. He was really just like uh not not judgmental at all, and just like really was open to whatever you wanted to contribute, and I've met Casey several times before taking improv just because I've seen him do stand up. Um, and we kind of knew each other from that. So I mean, I already knew he was a really funny guy, but he just has a lot of energy and he definitely just makes it easy to go be goofy and stupid and because he does that. And so it's he sets a good example of, the mindset you should be in for improv.
Totally. Was there anything I didn't ask that you want to share?
Um, yeah, I think we covered a lot. I think, improv is also just it's a good way to meet people because I think I've definitely made some pretty good friends from doing this. And a few of those people have gone into intermediate improv with me too. So I think for people, especially for people that have like social anxiety, I think improv can be really beneficial in tons of different ways. But also just like it's a great way just to directly meet people. So um, yeah, I would recommend it.
I agree. I agree 100%. Well, thank you for joining me and telling me about your experience.
Of course. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Huge thanks to Faerret for sharing his story, energy, and journey with us. It's people like him who make Peak Improv Theater more than a stage. It's a community. And thank you for joining us for this PiT profile. If Faerret's story made you smile, inspired you, or reminded you why you love improv, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with a friend who needs a little more laughter in their life. If you have a question for one of the owners, teachers, or performers, email us at info@peakimprov.com. In the meantime, we've got more stories coming your way from the students, performers, teachers, and owners who make Peak Improv Theater such a special place. Until next time, keep saying yes, keep showing up, and we'll see you on or off the stage.